Hey there. So it looks like you're just not quite remembering how to do interval notation. In theory, people coming into this class would have this from the previous class. In reality, lots of times people don't remember this at all. So let me give you kind of a quick refresher here. And then also in section 2.1, there's a bunch of stuff that uses interval notation. So I probably go over it a bunch in that video as well. But in terms of this context, let me show you what interval notation would be. So basically, if you have, you can, the same way that you can use x is greater than 5, I can write that on a number line where if that's 5, this would be x is greater than 5. Interval notation, you use the endpoints to describe the interval. So if there's no equals, we use a parenthesis. So in this case, this would go from 5 and it goes out to infinity. And we always use a parenthesis on infinity because we can't include infinity because we can't get there. So for open dots or no equal sign, let me write this down. So for less than or greater than, we would use an open dot and we would use parentheses. If I have an expression involving an equals, whether it's less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, that on a graph would be a closed dot like this one, and those get brackets, and that's to show that the solid dot and the equals in the bracket all are saying that endpoint is included. On this example, there aren't infinities, but you'll see this in 2.1 as well. So for here, specifically, this is saying f of x equals 5 if it's between these 2 points, if it's between -4 and -1. So right here, and these both have solid dots, so we would use brackets on those intervals. So this is going from -4 inclusive to -1 inclusive. So brackets. It's 3 between -1 and 3, but we're not including the 1. That's why that has that open dot. And notice this passes a vertical line test, so this is a function. You have to be careful when you're graphing these later on the assignment that one side should always have a closed dot, one side should always have an open dot, so that you're passing vertical line test. Anyhow, so for 3, we're going to pick up at -1, but this time I'm using a parenthesis because of the open dot, so that gets parentheses, and that goes up to and includes 3. And then it's 1 from 3 to 5, and then the 3 is not included, again passing the vertical line test, and up to and including 5. And like I said, there's a bunch more on that. There's just a little quick review, but a bunch more examples of that in 2.1 when you get there.